Need a horn and a drum roll.
Talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I was in the game on 4th and inches. I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I was in the game on 4th and inches. I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I was in the game on 4th and inches.
What's up, people? Happy Tuesday, day after the Natty, where you saw Alabama dominate Ohio State. How's everybody doing today? If I would have known War Chant was going live right now, I probably would have waited, because they are live and they have a big crowd over there. But it's okay. We're still gonna do our thing over here. Ain't nothing gonna stop this show. You over here on 863 Seminole TV, and I'm your host, POLK, a.k.a. A-Low, a.k.a. the goddamn truth. And FSU landed another portal guy. Now, we're going to talk about this one. I'm not too happy about this one, but maybe someone can convince me otherwise. And that has nothing to do with the player. It's got nothing to do with the player, man. I think for all intents and purposes, you got a pretty good player if he's healthy. He's coming off of an ACL, but we're going to dive into that. First, we are going to talk about these some news, some rumors going on. We got a little bit of information to touch on, and of course, before we get into all of that, we're always going to hit this roll call up. Not a lot of people in here yet, only 15, but hit that like button regardless. So we'll hit a quick roll call and we'll go from there. and shout you out as you come through. But Ray Fitty, CJ, Tyler, Florida Gator Nation, Danny, Peter Shields, No Blooded, and Island Boy so far have made their presence felt. Hold on. Rose's in the building. He said he's watching both. Yeah, if I would have known they was even live, I probably would have waited. I didn't know they were going live. They got a big crowd over there. It's all good though. It's all good. Quick news and rumors. Don't know how long I'm gonna be on today. Really not a lot, but there are some things that I do want to dig into a little bit. First and foremost, James Blackman officially maiden date in the building. He officially hits the portal. Officially, James Blackman finally. I know he's been, saying he's been talking about. It's been known that he's going to transfer for at least a month now, at least. But he officially hits the portal. My speculation there was that he just wanted to graduate, get his degree, and now he's gonna hit the portal. And yeah, so we'll see where he ends up going. Mason Russian, Mark Jean is in the building. Sort of a rumor here. Take this one with a grain of salt because I can't find anything confirming it. The school has put out no official status, and the player hasn't put out anything official yet. As a matter of fact, he was just tweeting last night and said nothing. But Kavion Glenn is rumored to be the next guy out. He is rumored to be the next Seminole to enter the portal. Linebacker Kavion Glenn. When his name first popped up, his family, I think it was mainly his father, denied it. But again, no formal announcement has been made by either side, by the school or himself. He's still actively on Twitter, still has his picture of him and his FSU stuff up there. His header, everything's still 100% Florida State as of right now. But that news did break on a Patreon page, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Noel's Game Day Patreon page. They broke that Kavion Glenn will be the next one leaving the program. Again, take it with a grain of salt. We will see if that one comes to fruition. Again, I've heard nothing formal about it. So, again, grain of salt. Until something officially is announced, Kavion Glenn is a rumor. 5-star quarterback. Gunnar Stockton decommits from South Carolina. Why do we care? Well, Auburn is rumored to be in the lead for him. Again, why does Florida State fans care about this? Well, you may have heard of this guy, Mr. Travis Hunter. Is hot on the recruiting trail. I'm not saying we're getting Gunnar. I don't even know if he's even remotely considering Florida State. But look, Travis Hunter's on him. And he tweeted to Gunnar, let's remake that Mac Jones and Devontae Smith at FSU. I think FSU was telling Travis Hunter they might play him on offense and defense. If he's talking like that, I wouldn't be shocked. The kid's going to be able to go and play wherever position he wants to play, in my opinion. But he seems to be. Travis Hunter been the top recruiter for that 2022 class. So shout out to Travis Hunter as he continues to try to make this 2022 class special. And we got Aaron Collier in the building, Mayan King, Sergeant AR, what's going on? Terrence. But yeah, that is Tyler Hunter is recruiting Gunnar. Don't know if Gunner's taking him serious. It's something to watch out for. Not saying he's coming, obviously. something to watch out for. Okay, rumors and speculation a little bit right here. I've been hearing that now this part is a fact. The NCAA here in the next few days, they're supposed to be voting on some major decisions involving college football, the transfer portal, scholarships, a lot of this stuff coming up. Two of the things that they are rumored to be two of the things that they are rumored to be talking about is upping the scholarship number from what it is now to 25 or 26 to 30, and or not counting the senior grad transfers towards the scholarship number. Why is that big for Florida State? Well, it's big for Florida State, and we're going to get into it with this Brandon Moore take, the cornerback out of UCF. But it's just not only big for Florida State. I mentioned this. I mentioned this before. I think it was last episode, actually. FSU, not just FSU, but there are more portal players right now than schools have scholarships. The transfer portal is exploding it's unprecedented really right now what is happening in the transfer portal, to be quite honest with you. College football has never seen any of this. Again, every day new guys enter. There are more players in the portal than there are spots at schools, and some schools aren't allowing kids to come back. Just speaking on that real quick, Rambo, who just recently committed to Miami, is rumored that he tried to come back to Oklahoma and Oklahoma said no. That he tried to pull his name out of the portal and Oklahoma said no. Now, I'm not saying that's why Miami got him. I'm just saying that he's one of those players that was rumored to. He hit the portal. He didn't commit right away. I think Rambo's been in the portal for at least a week or two up to this point. I think he committed today to Miami, which is a good get, by the way, for Miami. But it was rumored that he actually tried to pull his name out the portal, and Oklahoma, they denied it. That's happening a lot. I'll bring up him because that's one of the ones that I kind of know of. But that's really happening a lot right now. That's really happening a lot, where you have way too many kids in the portal, not enough spots at schools, and some of these schools aren't going to take some of these kids back. So how does the NCAA try to fix this? Well, they're upping the scholarships to either 30 or senior. Now, this is the key. Senior grad transfers. So in FSU's case, the Mackenzie Miltons, the guy we got from Georgia, the DM we got from Georgia, the cornerback we got from Arkansas, Keir Thomas from South Carolina. These guys, grad transfer seniors, will not count towards scholarships, which would be a big help, more so than the scholarships. I don't know if the scholarship one is going to happen. I think it's more likely that they don't count the grad transfers than it is for them to up the scholarships to 30. Because that would mean a team like Bama, who already has the number one recruiting class, already has 26 players, you're going to give them 4 or 5 extra scholarship slots. That's kind of scary. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they're going to give extra. I don't know if the 30 is going to happen. I could be dead wrong on this point. So I don't know if the 30 is going to happen. I think it's more likely that the grad transfers won't count towards the scholarships. That's just kind of my take on that. And with that said, that segues into Brandon Moore, cornerback at a UCF, 6 foot, 186. Was actually a really good player at UCF. Friends with Mackenzie Milton. From my understanding, the kid had about a 3rd round grade on him before he tore his knee up. So he is coming off a knee injury, which is never a good thing. I think he's a 6-year senior too, if I'm not mistaken. But here's why I say what I say. I don't have a problem with the player per se. I do have a problem with the numbers. And Until that happens, until the NCAA actually approves either or of those two things I was just talking about, if they approve either one of them, right now FSU only has, with that pick, they have 2 spots left, if I'm not mistaken. 2 spots left. Well, that sucks. If they're in the running for Malone, whether you think we get Malone or not, I'm pretty sure you try to keep a scholarship open for him. You're trying to keep a scholarship open for Hill. And guess what? FSU still hasn't added an offensive lineman in the portal, which everybody knows it doesn't make sense to bring Mackenzie Milton over if you can't keep him upright, if you can't protect him. Who cares what quarterback we have if he's running for his life every down? So my problem with the Brandon Moore take is not the player. I don't want people to think that I don't think the player can play. I'm pretty sure the kid can play, man. I'm pretty sure the kid can play. So if he's healthy, if his knee's right, I don't have no problems with him. If we're going back to this 4-2-5 allegedly, and we need 5 DBs on the field and be able to rotate guys, I'm all for taking as many DBs as possible. But not at the expense of offensive linemen, not at the expense of another pass rushing defensive end, which we also need. If FSU doesn't get these extra scholarships that are apparently coming over, what is the point of taking this kid when they are loaded at the defensive back position? And by the way, if there's one position FSU has recruited fairly well, even with this down, 4 years that we've been down, it's been corner. It's been the DBs. We still are recruiting 4- and 5-star DBs, regardless of the fact that we've been down the last 4 years. The DB room is solid. I don't understand from a numbers wise, from a scholarship perspective. I don't understand the Brandon Moore take. Again, I'm not talking about the kid, man. I just don't understand it. We were good. We were good at DB before we took him. I mean, I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on the kid, but man, I am not. Just from a number standpoint, I don't quite get it. I don't get that one. Let's go to the comment section and see what everybody's talking about. We'll start off with here. Mark Jean says 30 scholarships. Got some Canes in the POLK house. What's up, John? John in the building. Pat, what's going on, man? If my dogs get Eric Gilbert, it's over. Insane. Oh, AR10 is in here. My bad. Rambo found out Perry hit the portal and tried to go back home. There you go. So I wasn't the only one that heard that. Rambo was trying. Well, Rambo's he's a Texas native, if I'm not mistaken, but Rambo tried to pull his name from what I heard, man. Heard the same thing. Oklahoma said, "No, we're good. Go take your hands on, son." Some of these players in the portal may have to. You're not. That's what I'm saying. If the NCAA doesn't figure this out, I don't know. Some of these kids may have to walk on as transfers, which is a possibility. It's a possibility, which was rumored that Brandon Moore would have been a walk-on for a transfer, only to find out that we actually gave him a scholarship. That's when I really had a problem. I didn't have a problem with the take if he was just going to walk on. I do have a problem with spending a scholarship on another defensive back when we could have really used that elsewhere. And we're going to talk about some of that. What's the deal with the offensive line portal as well? And why hasn't FSU really heavily pursued anybody? We got some word on that. FSU Rose says, AR10, no way y'all have Washington and Gilbert on the same team. College football is legit becoming the Wild West. Rosette could happen. Eric went to my high school. I talked to his coaches last week. Alabama don't need recruits. Grad transfer is a better option. College football is more interesting than the NFL. It really is. That boy Brandon Moore, 30 years old. Damn near. If Mullen leaves for the NFL, Eric will be a Bulldog. I don't think Mullen's going anywhere personally. 6-year senior. Oh, yeah, he went to high school in Atlanta. Bankhead. Pats, that's how we do it. if y'all are going to the 4-2-5, y'all need the depth. I understand we need the depth, but we definitely have the depth. I'm not worried about the depth at the DB position. We definitely have it. But we also need depth at some other spots too that we don't have. Clown Bo Sweeney, Juju, and Dwayne Haskins are crying in the club right now. What's up, Kevin? Do y'all really think we going to get Big Cat Bryant? I don't know. If the scholarship stay the way it is, you can't unless FSU knows something that we all don't know. For instance, maybe they got the word from Taylor Malone's camp that he had a good time at a visit, but he'll probably not be coming here. Then okay, I get it. You move on from him. Unless they got a word from Destin Hill, he's not really interested in Florida State no more. And this is stuff that we just don't know. And when nobody's reporting, then okay, I got it. But the high school kids still have to be a priority somewhat. FSU doesn't have the room to take everybody in the portal, man. That's like 2 spots left. Legit 2 spots left. We had 16 commits, and now we have, 8 grad transfers. You guys do the math. POLK is on his grown man. I see you growing out your beard. Man, I'm doing a little bit, man. Until I got to cut it again once I go back to work. I figure why not let it grow. That Bama versus Miami might get nasty if they don't find a quarterback. That Bama versus Miami game is going to be nasty regardless. Got to think FSU has some inside knowledge into the scholar. They have to. I agree with that. That's another thing that's kind of been put out there, Tyler. Speaking of Tyler, hold on a second. Speaking of Tyler, make Tyler my next mod. Bam. So Tyler, I just made you my second mod. We're going to do this slowly as we continue to grow this channel. As you know, as you can see, man, we get bigger and bigger crowds in here almost every episode. So shout out to Tyler. He's been one of my faithful guys as well. But back to the thing what you said, Tyler. I've heard that some of the schools do have some type of information. A lot of schools, from what I hear, are expecting the NCAA to do something, whether that's the 30 scholarships, whether that's the grad transfers not counting, something. They're expecting the NCAA to do something to sort of help this portal mess out. So that's maybe why a team like Florida State is kind of just saying, okay, yeah, we're kind of tight right now, but we expect in the next week or so something to, some pressure to be alleviated, and we'll still be able to take a few more guys. So I got to think maybe that's coming from somewhere. Atkins must have seen something we don't on the O-line to not possibly pick up an O-line in the portal. I'm going to get on that after I catch up on the comments, Panama. What's going on, Hurricane Kilo? At least Mark Jean being for real. I mean, but hey, Mark, you never know. I mean, Bama's going to be missing their quarterback, most likely, their top running back, the top receiver. I mean, you guys got a shot coming there. Well coached, well prepared. You never know what could happen. No Squad says we can oversign. My dude, much love from Arizona. Keep doing your thing. Thank you, Rough Rider. Every major source is saying we are getting an offensive tackle. Not even paying attention to that Bama game anymore with the quarterback situation. You definitely got to find a quarterback. Is it true that I'm hearing that Garcia's messed up with his grades or something? Is that true, maiden date? I'm hearing Garcia. I'm not saying he won't qualify. I think he'll qualify, but they're saying that he has some grade situations he's got to figure out before he can even get on campus at Miami. Is that true? You the GOAT. We really got 228 days till kickoff. Hey, no problem, Tyler. Stan Wilcox in at the NCAA. Have some type of faith, man. Found your stream chat. Love the videos. Hey, man, thanks, Kevin. Just hit the subscribe button. I've seen you in T2Y's chats, man. So I appreciate you for coming over here and hitting that subscribe button. Thanks for the Clown Bo Sweeney thing. Well, thank you for giving me my props. Everyone just relax. I believe Norvell and company, they'll hit all the team needs. Okay, so I'm pretty much caught up. So when it comes to the portal stuff, what I've heard, I'm pretty sure, and like people like FSU Rose and some of these guys, they've heard the same thing because I'm no insider. I get all my information from the same place. Any one of you guys can get it from the internet. But what I've heard come out of the camp or come out of the program is that FSU has not really been excited about any of the offensive linemen that have kind of hit the portal up until this point. Remember, everybody made a big deal about the Memphis guy, and one of the things that came out of that came out of Florida State side of it was they felt that the Memphis kid was no better than a guy like Chaz Neal, who they already have on the roster. Now, even a guy like Tyquise Crawford, who I think FSU would have took if he wanted to come, I think the thing with him was they also viewed him as a project developmental type player. And from everything I'm hearing and reading, FSU they want to take a day one bona fide starter. They're not saying that the man has to be a certified, superstar, but they want a guy who's going to come in. They want a guy who's going to play right now. And they have not found or seen one of that quality in the portal yet. Now, there are some names that are not being released that FSU believes may hit the portal that they kind of got their eye on, that they're watching. All intents and purposes are that they are going to take an offensive lineman. They are just waiting for the right one to pop. And like I said in my last show, don't be too worried because this thing's going to last all the way through the spring and the summer. I mean, the portal is going to be open all the way up to June, July, August. It is. And anybody can pop at any time. So that's kind of the insight on the portal situation is they feel like they have enough developmentary kids on that offensive line now that they don't want to waste their time taking another one. They want to invest their time into Lloyd Willis and Ira Henry and Rod Orr, who's coming in, and the Thomas Schraders and the Zane Herrings. They want to invest their time in developing those kids, not take another kid to develop. What they want is a guy who's going to come in right now, who's going to shore up that tackle spot, and they pretty much, plug him in and go look the other way and not worry about him. They kind of know what they're getting, and that's really what their focus is right now on their offensive line. That's kind of the thought process on the O-line and why they're not in a rush, because they're basically looking for the right guy. Again, do the scholarships even out though? Do they find more spots? Because if not, then they kind of misplayed their hand on some of these takes in the portal if they don't have any more scholarships for an offensive lineman, unless you can convince a guy to walk on. If they get more scholarships, then there's not really too much to worry about going there. Go to the comments. I think Norvell makes a big leap in year 2. Alabama reminds me of FSU in the Bowden era with all that talent. He will get resolved January 19th. Supposed to be his first day on campus. Okay. I heard Garcia's having problems with schooling, but not for sure if Garcia or not. But whatever, it is keeping him from enrolling early. Apparently, Quentin Nelson may convert to offensive tackle after the Colt starting left tackle retires. Roll Tide. Congratulations on the national championship. Y'all didn't have to embarrass Ohio State like that. Hurricane speed. It's fun having an offense instead of just defense that we had and no offense in the past. What do you think about the other 2 Auburn guys that just hit the portal? I know about Big Cat, and that's about it. I haven't really paid attention to anybody else. Again, with FSU's with the scholarship situation, I frankly have stopped looking at the portal Because again, we only have like 2 spots, maybe 3 if we're somehow lucky. I find it really hard to find out, like, who are you gonna take? That they are we're cutting it real close with this portal situation, in my opinion. Does anyone know of an article that explains scholarship rules in plain English? Even if you look at War Chant 247, none of the exactly nobody. That's my same problem. Is I do my research, but nobody has a concrete answer on this portal situation. I've heard so many different numbers, from 25 to 26 to FSU having 3 to 4 to 5 spots left. I'm not. I would assume the staff has to know this information, but I can find nothing plainly written in black and white that says XYZ. Only thing I'm pretty confident on is, one, people leaving your program does not, I repeat, people leaving the program does not increase your scholarships for the year. It may roll over to next year, even though I only think that's the thing. I think only any given year you can only take a certain cap number, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's a rule, that there's a cap number, regardless of how many people leave your program. So guys who leave, don't add to your scholarships. I know that's like a big rumor where people say, well, this guy's leaving, so FSU's going to have more scholarships. And I don't think that's the case. There was a rumor that the early enrollees can count to the 2020, which I think there is some actual validity and truth to that, to where I guess the early enrollees can count towards the next cycle. But I haven't even seen that written. Like, it's so much gray area with this scholarship stuff. Garcia is at Grayson High here in Georgia. Sergeant AR-10 thinks that Garcia, this is a Georgia fan, by the way, but he thinks that Garcia will start against Bama. Look at Miami's first 4 games. He's got to grow up quick. He is mentally tough. I just don't worry about physical tool he might undertake. We might have to develop our tight ends to block more till we get our offensive line. Giuseppe. What's going on with the DM from Illinois? Haven't heard anything else from him. He said he'd see these guys in Tallahassee, but again, with this scholarship information, with this scholarship stuff, does FSU take another portal guy? And do you limit yourself in the high school recruiting? The numbers are what's making me really the numbers make me want to tell. If it was me, the numbers say back off from the portal. Okay, you got 8. Cool. Let's relax from here. See what numbers we really have. And let's just not give up on some of these high school kids, because the portal's good and all, but you don't build a program through the portal. You don't build a program through the portal. A lot of these guys are just going to be one-stop guys. I mean, Mackenzie Milton is going to be a 1-year guy. Parchment's going to be a 1-year guy. The two of your DBs you just got are going to be 1-year guys. Your DN's going to be a 1-year guy. 2 of the DB linemen you got is going to be 1. That's 6 players out of the 8, I believe, are 1-year guys. The only guys I know that have multiple years of eligibility is DJ. I think he's a sophomore. I think Jamie Robinson is a sophomore. I think everybody else is seniors. Anybody can correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm almost positive everybody else is a grad transfer or like a senior on that roster. So you don't build a program through the portal, man. We gotta recruit the high school ranks. Jackson State has 12 transfers, so I think. But see, Jackson State is not Florida State, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. But Deion's not gonna kill the high school ranks at Jackson State. He's just not gonna do it. Where Deion's gonna have his success is, and again, I hate to say it like this, but getting the top programs, quote unquote, leftovers is gonna be how Deion's gonna build that thing. and he can dominate the HBCU level with a bunch of transfers because he's not going to be at Jackson State forever anyway. He can do enough at Jackson State to be competitive, not just competitive, but dominate for a year or two or three. And he can just do that by picking the portal every year. Once Deion finally gets to a real big time school, he's going to have to recruit high school ranks where he can't really recruit high school like that at Jackson State. I'm pretty sure with this Corona situation, if guys want to transfer closer to home, they let them. I'm pretty sure they are just giving the green light. Oh yeah, they're definitely letting everybody transfer. But see, that's been the problem. Not saying it's a problem for the players. I think the players should have a right to go wherever they want to go. The problem is that you've made transferring unrestricted, but you haven't given the schools the same resources to take these kids on. You tell players you can transfer without any restrictions. Schools still have restrictions in taking these players. So you have more players than you have scholarships. Somebody's like, I think AR said it, some of these players are going to be bagging groceries at Publix or whatever come the season. Some of these players aren't going to be playing college football because there's just not going to be scholarships unless some of these kids can't afford to walk on to other universities. So they have to figure out the scholarship situation for sure. One thing that has always held true, the numbers, they always do seem to work out. When they want them to work out, they definitely do seem to work out. Hit the like button and subscribe and turn on your notification. Thank you for that, Maiden Dane. Yes, sir. Jurgen, what up, bro? You don't build a program through the portal, but it can. Yeah, exactly. It definitely can help you bridge the gap. If you get the right guys in the portal, definitely can help you bridge the gap, but you have to follow that up with successful recruiting classes. Did you know Akeem Dent was the worst corner in the Power 5? The passer rating against him was dead last. I saw that. Another messed up season. Norvell's probably getting fired. He wants guys that will make an immediate impact. He needs to win some games. Norvell needs at least 3 to 4 years unless everything goes off the rails. In my opinion, you take a DN out of the portal and get an offensive tackle in high school, then we'll be done. There's no offensive tackles available at the high school ranks. Not anything that's worth taking. Not anything that's worth taking. So I wouldn't really worry too much about offensive tackle from the high school ranks. You need both from the portal, frankly. Transfer portals become the new free agency. Absolutely. War Chant said they haven't heard anything on KV Anglais. That's why I said take it with a grain of salt. It was a big thing that popped up on my Twitter feed last night. I think it came from Noel's Game Day. I think is where it originated from on a Patreon page. So again, could be a flat out lie. Kavion's family has denied reports that he was leaving Florida State before, but his name has popped up again. Could be a flat out lie. Could not be. Just take it with a grain of salt. Something to watch. It's something to watch going forward. Norville is using the portal like free agency because he knows he has to win. He definitely has to win now. Imagine nobody goes pro on Alabama against Miami. That ain't going to happen. Dent and Jones were horrible. I understand taking 2 corners. If Moore is healthy, then McClinion could end up being the bad take. Again, you're not wrong, Tyler. And this has nothing to do with Moore. I'm not saying Moore is a bad player. I'm not saying him as a player is the bad take. The problem is the numbers. You took 3 DBs. I'm not saying you don't need depth at the DB position, but I think if you look at the way FSU has recruited the DB position, you got 3 DBs that's coming in this class alone. Unless it could potentially 4, depending on, do they see Shaheem Brown as a linebacker? Do they see him more as a safety? Okay, so you got 3 to 4 DBs in this class, in the recruiting class, out of the high school ranks. 2 of the 4 stars, some people think could end up getting playing time early. And you added 3 portal guys. Again, it's not about who's good or bad. I don't think the kid's going to be a bad player. My problem simply is the numbers and the other needs that this roster has. I feel like You didn't at this point. You did need another defensive back. Just my opinion. Go FSU from Texas. Shout out to Kristen Ball from Texas. Used to live in Texas. What up, Bobby? You think FSU got a chance with Sam McCall and Kamari Wilson in the 2022 last? Now, McCall's the kid from Lake Gibson, and he who decommitted from Florida, right? Correct me if I'm wrong there. Kamari Wilson, the name doesn't ring a bell. I'll have to look him up. But I'm telling you right now, the 2022 class has a chance to be special. It's already starting off very good. The number one player out of Arkansas, McAdoo, pretty good player. Go watch him. I got to do a tape on him, as a matter of fact. Anyway, he's got some springs in his leg, man. The kid's athletic at 6'3". Obviously, we all know who the baddest man in high school football is. He's committed right now. So, and we got another defensive end who a lot of people are really high on. And a lot of people feel like he'd be rated a lot higher if he actually had recruiting services being able to go watch these kids. I forget his name off the top of my head, but I know somebody knows who I'm talking about. So the class has already started off great. They just have to put a competent product on the field next year. Okay, I'm not saying they need to win 10 games. I'm not saying they need to win 8 games. But damn it, you can't go out there and get blown out in every single game, which is what happened this year. Every game we won, every game we didn't win, which was only 3, they were blowouts. You can't go out there and get blown out in every single loss. Except for Georgia Tech. So if you're not going to even be competent on the football field, it's going to be hard to convince these kids to commit. New OT in the portal. Atkins followed him. What's his name? What's his name, No Squad? Miami trying to tackle Najee here. Alex Atkins followed Louisiana Tech grad transfer offensive tackle Antoine Lewis, 6'5", 233. Lewis is a Florida native. Okay. We'll see how they diagnose this kid, and they might like this one. They might like him. So maybe this is the guy they take. 60 people in here, man. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Henry says Brown stays around the corner from me. Brown who? What Brown you talking about, Henry? I prefer more transfers for now, bringing in guys that can make serious impact when 7-8, then they'll be able to recruit higher quality high school kids. Tyler, you got to give Jones and Dent a pass because Dent was coming off ankle surgery. Jones apparently had a bum hamstring. So we'll see, man. We'll see with those two corners. If y'all go on the page called Norvell Central on Instagram, they talk about Big Cat and how he has been in touch with the coaching staff. Kamari Wilson, 5-star safety. I know we're on his trail big time. Kamari Wilson will be a Gator. Anybody can look good. I feel saving because anybody on his former staff can't beat him. Norvell is going to get us right. Kevin Smith says, are they anticipating more attrition at DB? That's another question. That's a good question. Maybe they know some things about some other guys leaving. I haven't heard anybody else leaving at DB. Guys like Brandon Gant have been all in. I haven't heard anything about anybody leaving. Maybe, obviously, being on the staff, coaching these kids, they may know some more attrition that's coming. Or maybe they watch these guys every day and they're just not happy with the level of talent that they have. That is possible. What I really think is a mix of I think Norvell understands that if Norvell didn't get Mackenzie Milton in the transfer portal, I think the whole outlook of next year's team would be different. I think he'd still be on kind of this slow burn rebuild process. I really do. The problem is not necessarily a problem, but the situation becomes Mackenzie Milton didn't come to Florida State to win 5 games next year. Norvell sold him on something. This was Mackenzie Milton that probably could have went maybe anywhere he wanted. I mean, in terms of any team that needed a quarterback, any big-time school that maybe needed a quarterback, he could have went there. And He chose Florida State for a reason. I think they're doing their damnness to put experience on the field next year of guys who have a proven track record of playing in games. I don't think they're looking to go, quite frankly, with the rebuild mode next year. They're while trying to develop guys, they're also trying to put a team on the field that can win some games next year. I think that looks to me like what his plan is. I'm just saying, I get the thought process for taking another corner. We were horrible on defense, and we're giving Fuller no excuses. We're definitely not giving Fuller any excuses. And you're right, the corner play wasn't great, but you know what? Again, we have a bunch of bodies at that position, at DB position, period. Instead of taking another corner, why not give me another pass rusher? Secondary play will improve if you can get pressure on a quarterback, which FSU couldn't get any pressure on quarterbacks last year. So all of those, those things go hand in hand. If you can't get pressure, your corners can't cover forever, right? If your corners can't cover at all, your line has no time to get the pressure, right? So those things kind of go hand in hand. Kusami Hayes, what up, bruh? Okay, Henry Lee stays around the corner from Shaheem Brown. Okay. Norvell, I feel like the job too big for him. It remains to be seen. They already have us upsetting Notre Dame, and we're 8 months, because I said it before, that Notre Dame game is extremely winnable, regardless of what anybody tries to tell you. They're losing. Notre Dame's losing a lot, especially offensively. Now, defensively, I haven't looked into what they're losing. I know offensively, I think that whole offensive line is gone. Ian Book is gone. Okay, when you're breaking in an entire new offense or offensive position players, FSU has a chance, man. Come on. FSU definitely has a chance. Let's not act like we don't have a chance first game of the year. It's all depending on how everybody transitions, Do they shore up this offensive line? I don't have no worry. From everything I've heard, Milton's healthy. Okay, I have no worry about Milton if we address the offensive line issues. Okay, everything that I have to worry about Florida State honestly comes from the defensive side of the ball. If we can't stop Notre Dame, maybe we can win a couple shootouts. But man, that's my biggest question: is defensively, can they put something on the field that's respectable? But we definitely have a chance game one to upset Notre Dame. There he is, Najee Kelly, good player. He's another good player, man. Check out Najee Kelly highlights. He already committed for. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Next year, man, we already got 3 commits, and I think all of them are really good players. 67 people in chat, only 37 like. Hit the like button. Thank you. 73 people at this point. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, man. I don't understand. I got 73 people in here, but my analytics tell me about 40% of y'all are subscribed to me. So that tells me there's a good chunk of people in here who just watch me, but don't subscribe. If you're watching me, subscribe. If you're a Florida State fan, first of all, if you're a Florida State fan, there's no reason why you shouldn't be subscribed to the channel. And if you sit here and watch me every time I come on here, you might as well give me a subscription, man. We're almost to 800. I think we're like, hold on, let me check my numbers. That should be the goal today. Get me over 800 subscribers today. Let's do that. Let's get over 800 today. I'm at 796 right now. I need 4 more. Give me 5 more to get us over 800. That makes us less than 200 away from 1,000, baby. The road to 1,000 is a real thing. We were almost at 1K. Let's do that. Now, we won't get 1K in this episode, but we can damn sure get over 800, man. So hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I don't know. Y'all start last 2 seasons getting up on your season opener, letting team come back. Then guys don't know how to win, man. This team has to learn how to win. That's for damn sure. This team has to learn how to win football games. We need O-line transfers ASAP. What's up, Big Gucci? We talked about that. Do you think that we need another solid wide receiver? If you whiff on Hill, yes. If you land Hill, I am fine with the receivers, because to me, Destin Hill's going to play day one. He's going to play day one. Parchment, Hill. I think Keyshawn Helton's going to benefit from getting that brace taken off him. I expect a bounce back year from Keyshawn Helton. I think Ontario Wilson is kind of is what he is, and that's not a bad player. He's not a game changer, but he's a solid option if your first and second options aren't open. I think Ontario Wilson can be a solid third option, but he's not a starter, right? So give me Parchment, give me Hill. Who knows? We could see McClain get the field early. We still got Brian Robertson. They got some talented guys. Portier, how does he develop? They got some guys. We know they're going to use these running backs. They use Ja'Kai Douglas at receiver in the flats. They spread them out wide. They're going to put these running backs at receiver. So I definitely think they're going to have the bodies. But if you don't get Destin Hill, then you might want to try to address the portal one more time. But again, these numbers aren't looking too favorable as of right now. A lot of people around the program saying that Milton's arm is great and he's moving well. Don't know how much of that is just a narrative. But the tour of duty has started, to Tyler's point. Yes, tour of duty started yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Yesterday or Sunday. Why are they trying to build back to front? Great question. I love the transfer and experienced college linebacker. I feel like linebacker is a weak point. I talked about that linebacker position before, man. The word around the program with the linebacker position is they are, believe it or not, they are happy with kind of where it stands. They feel like they're really young, but they're really talented, and that they just got to grow into the position. And obviously you see from the portal, you see from recruiting, they just haven't addressed the linebacker position. Now that is that going to come back and bite them in the ass? We're going to see. But they, for whatever reason, haven't really addressed the linebacker position. William Washington, what's going on? Project Dynasty. I feel Clemson is getting complacent. FSU will start to close the gap this year. I hope so. The thing about it is you're not going to, here's the thing with Clemson, in my opinion, and you kind of see it all the time. You're not always going to hit on everybody. So you're going to expect some type of drop off from Trevor Lawrence to DJ Ugielli or whatever this guy's name is. You're going to see some drop off from ETN to whoever they got backing them up. The question is how much of the drop off, and can another team, I don't know if FSU is really in the position to capitalize off the drop off, but maybe a North Carolina, who next year probably going to have, starting into the year, Sam Howell's going to be considered the best quarterback in the ACC to start the year. So maybe another team can catch him. My dollar cheerleader for the high school team, Shaheem Brown, play for. That's what's up. POLK, can your wide receivers catch the ball? They damn sure couldn't last year, so we're going to see if they can catch the ball this year. Did you see the 2022 wide receiver that committed prematurely and had it? I did. He deleted his comment. He was a wide receiver from Louisiana. I forget his name. And he ended up deleting that, which the word around town was that was an uncommittable offer that FSU gave him, and he jumped the gun. Which, when I looked up the kid, again, right now I don't remember his name, but when I looked up the kid, he was like the 600th ranked something. He wasn't a highly ranked player at all. So it kind of made sense why that FSU kind of gave him an uncommittable offer. Kind of like, yo, we like you. We like what we see, but hold off. And I think he jumped the gun there. Mm-hmm. And because he deleted it, I don't think I can go back and find him. Joseph Oliver in the building. 1K on the way. Just subscribe. Appreciate you, Rough Riders. 45 years ago to this day, the great Bobby, yes, and the rest is history. And here we are today. We had Dix and Rice on the field more than Gaynor. Gaynor's our best linebacker, but we took him off the field every time he went to. I agree, which is why, again, they like what they have at backer. I think what they really like I think what you're going to see this year is Gainer play more standing up. I think you're going to see Gainer play more traditional linebacker, which I'm personally, I've been calling for the man to be a pass rusher. But at this point, seeing how limited he played, get him on the field. If that means standing him up next to Emmett Rice or Steven Dix, show me what it does. I think Gainer can play some traditional linebacker, so I'm all for it. I get that, but Clemson is losing a ton of talent. Hope the Canes wear out all their jugs machines. Tour of Duty starts this Friday. Man, I missed good old Bobby Bowden and those teams we had back in the day. Dennis doesn't think Clemson's going anywhere. Our programs had Hall of Fame coaching back in the day. I'm blowed Miami got Rambo, the wide receiver from Oklahoma. What do you want to see Fuller do to make the defense better? How about we just put your players in the best position to make plays? How about that? How about some situational awareness when it's 4th and short? Everybody's not 10 yards off the ball. How about making halftime adjustments? There's a lot of things I'd like to see Fuller do. 801. Okay, so we hit over 800. Did we? Did we hit over 800? Let me check. Y'all ain't lying to me. 802. All right, man. So that was easy, right? We got over 800. That was easy work. The road to 1K, man. That is the goal for right now. The road to 1K. Quincy Magadoo was the Arkansas wide receiver that we got. But there was another kid from Louisiana. I don't remember his name, so don't get me to lie to you. But he did post a commitment last night, only to later delete it. Let me see. Let me see if I've tried to retweet it or something. Let me see. Because usually I retweet these things. Nope. So I don't remember his name, but there you go. Chris G. If you get pressure, linebacker and DB play better. Absolutely. Gainer is so bad that they run at him. Who was that had that great take? If you guys don't know what Tyler's talking about, apparently somebody had this amazing football take that the reason why Gainer was so productive in his limited amount of snaps was because teams thought he was so bad that they just ran at him. That was an actual person that claimed they know the sport that said that. Yeah, I thought Gainer would play the Fox last year. They're talking about Rambo. What is some kind of pipeline with all the South Carolina kids? Corey, they used to have a pipeline with South Carolina back in the day too. Greg Jones is from South Carolina. I think DeMarcus Christmas is from South Carolina. South Carolina's always been a state that FSU used to recruit at a consistent basis. Fuller don't know how to do those things. Well, then, damn it, we're screwed. If Fuller don't know how to do any of those things I just mentioned, then we're screwed. That was, this messing me. That was his name. Yep. Man, I'm hot right now. Sat down to eat dinner, got called into work to teach a class because of an exercise that's going on. I'm sorry, man. Put the food in the microwave, man. I wish targeting wasn't a thing. These kids can take a hit. I think targeting is one of the problem with targeting. There are legit targeting plays. The problem with targeting is it's one of the most inconsistently called. It's game by game. It's like the hit box for targeting changes depending on who the damn refs are. Like there's certain plays that you watch and you go, okay, yeah, that was a target. That was like an illegal hit where he was really trying to. Anytime a player dips his head with a crown, I think should always be a targeting. But I also think you got to take into account offensive players doing the same thing. It's like they never call a targeting on an offensive player who would duck his head and put the crown of his helmet out there. So it's just an inconsistent. It's the worst. It's the worst. It's the worst rule in the sport because it's officiated so poorly. I think targeting should be a rule because some of these kids and professionals, for that matter, really be on the verge of ruining themselves with the way they tackle. So it should be a rule, but if you don't find it, they don't find a way to police up the officiating and the way they call that rule. It's always going to be a terrible. It's always going to be a terrible, terrible thing. Terrence says that's funny. What up, Derek? I got you on that like button, big dog. Thank you, Mike. DeMarcus Christmas is from Bradenton. Who am I? Who's the D tackle that was from Everett Dawkins? Maybe there was a D tackle recently that was from South Carolina. Maybe it was Everett Dawkins. I'd have to look it up. I think I meant Everett Dawkins is who I meant. I'm gonna double check, matter of fact, so I'm not wrong. Was it Dawkins? I think it was Dawkins. Yes, Everett Dawkins is what I meant. He's from Spartanburg, South Carolina. That's who I meant. I'm sorry, No Squad. Thanks for the correction. FSU used to recruit Virginia extremely heavy back in the day too. So there's a lot of guys, man. There's a lot of states that we need to kind of get back in. Mainly, we got to focus on Florida first and foremost. But there's some states that we got to get back in. Dakota Watson was from South Carolina. We had a couple guys, man, that was from South Carolina. Some good players too. I think Ron Simmons is from South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. Everybody should know who Ron Simmons is. Farouk. But back in the day, he was like considered Ron Simmons was like one of the biggest high school players. One of the biggest. Ron Simmons was the first big time like recruit, like nationally recognized recruits back in the day, like that Bobby Bowden ended up getting. And I think Ron Simmons from Georgia. Okay, my bad. He's from Georgia, but still, Ron Simmons was considered like one of the biggest high school players of all time. Things that upsets me about targeting is the language of the rule, like forcible contact. It's football. What other kind of contact is there? Yeah, I did. It was Everett Dawkins. That's what I meant. FSU used to recruit everywhere at a high level. Warner Robbins. Damn. I go for Root, baby. Him and Deion kicked off the Bowden dynasty. So, as far as recruiting goes, yeah, man, FSU, there's a couple places we really need to get back into the mix. South Carolina being one of them. And that's one of the reasons Clemson has had a bunch of success, man. They locked down South Carolina. The Southeast as a whole is really where you're going to get majority of your talent from, man. From pretty much from like South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, that area right there, that's your recruiting hotbed. I saw that. They did give him yes, they did. They did offer him Ja'Kai Douglas's little brother today. I did see that. If we took a wide receiver like Rambo instead of Moore at cornerback, would you have liked that take better? Oh. I think I would have, Tyler. I would have, if we would have took Rambo instead of Moore, I probably would have. I'm going to tell you why. I just think that they've recruited the DB position to the point where, one, Moore's coming off of a blown knee. We don't know if he's ever going to be, is he going to be the same player he was that earned that third round grade, right? Is he going to be that same caliber of kid? Who knows? That's first and foremost. I believe there's enough talent, though. I mean, we still have, unless they know of some kids leaving that we don't know. But if we're going to For all intents and purposes, if nobody else is leaving, as far as the secondary room goes, if no one else is leaving, I'll take my chances with Demore Tate and the two guys I brought in, and Brownlee, and the three freshmen that are coming in. Like I think I'll take my chances with that, because when I look at the wide receiver room, okay, Destin Hill's still a big question mark. I think a lot of people expect him to come to Florida State, but until that LOI's in, you can't pencil that one in. Let's say you don't get Hill, and let's say you don't add another wide receiver. Is Parchment's an upgrade, but then outside of Parchment, who's adding anything to that room? Rambo would have been 1 and 2. Oh man, you would have been really good to go with Parchment and Rambo on the edges. You would have been really good to go at the wide receiver room. Now, if you don't get Hill, if everybody can just focus on Parchment the entire game, what good does that really do us? You know what I'm saying? I think that's why I'm more so. We've had other needs, and there are other positions that lack talent, and I don't think DB is one of those positions that lack the talent. It might lack some coaching, Adam Fuller, but it doesn't lack talent. Where I think wide receiver is lacking some coaching and talent. Bama is the team that you got to keep out of Florida, and that's the one that's not happening. I think I talked about this on the last episode, Pat. Yes, Clemson has a couple Florida players. Not as much. Did y'all see the graphic from last year? Bama's entire secondary, all Florida players. The entire secondary was Florida players. Bama's the team that comes in and poaches Florida like it's nobody's business. Clemson has like 12 Florida players on that entire roster. Clemson focuses on more of Georgia. They're getting into places like Virginia now. They're locking down the state of South Carolina, North Carolina. That's where Clemson's focus is really at. Bama is the team that is killing the trail. But again, I said it, people have been poaching Florida for 30 years. It's nothing new. It's just the Florida schools got to up their game. Milton used to throw against Moore in practice every day, something I've considered, and one reason I'm not upset about the take. Penn State wide receiver John Dumore went to play for Taggart. Yeah, that was like a month ago. He said he wanted to. I didn't get it either, but if he wants to go to FAU, more power to him. Name one elite South Florida player on Clemson's roster. Amari Rogers. I'm talking in general. Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy with Alabama. Non-FSU question. Do you think King made a mistake playing in the bowl game and not going to the NFL? No. I know in hindsight it's easy to say, oh, King messed up. King wasn't getting drafted anyway, folks. Newsflash. I think most Miami Hurricane fans would agree with me. I know there's some that say I'm hating, which I'm not. But newsflash, De'Aaron King wasn't not getting drafted. Not as a damn quarterback. Maybe a team might have saw some value in him as a slot receiver, potentially, as an athlete who maybe they could have done something with in like the 5th or 6th round. De'Aaron King was not getting drafted as a quarterback. He just wasn't. So it made sense for him to come back to Miami for another year. Maybe you prove that you can throw the ball better. Maybe you prove that you have a better arm, have better accuracy. Again, he got injured. That's tough. We hope he has a speedy recovery. I mean, I honestly do. When I say that, I really do. I don't like to see them kids out there getting hurt, risking their careers, and not getting paid. So, he's been put in a position to try to make some money. It's unfortunate that he probably will miss the start of the season, and who knows if he could ever get that job back, depending on how Miami goes about their quarterback situation. But yeah, man, Derrick King wasn't going to the NFL after this year anyway, so it made sense for him to come back. It just unfortunate circumstance that he got hurt. What do you think about the boy from Lakeland, Sam McCall, decommit from UF, from our neck of the woods? Oh, I already know he went from my alma mater. He's a Lake Gibson Brave, and I think he's a beast. The problem is the fact that he decommitted from UF is a good thing. If you're from Lakeland area, you know Lakeland is really heavy Gators territory. Okay, most of these Lakeland kids go to Florida. Him decommitting, I heard that he is a real big Bama fan, so that might not be the greatest news for Florida State, because if Bama wants a kid, they don't usually miss out on them. I guess it depends on how much he's really interested in Florida State and can Florida State make up some ground there. I know Florida State's also in on his teammate, the running back out of Lake Gibson as well. So maybe those two can together want to come to Florida State. Florida State doesn't have the best track record out of Lake Gibson as of late. I mean, we lost Morvin Joseph to Tennessee last year after having him committed almost the whole time. So FSU's got to get back in Lake Gibson, man, and get back in Central Florida and South Florida, period, and get these kids back on board. Derrick King's draft stock's going down week 1. It's already down. And I'm not saying that to be funny. Like, the guy was not... Derrick King was not going to the NFL. I mean, he could have went to the NFL as an unrestricted free agent or something, an undrafted free agent, whatever you want to call it. But the man was not going to be drafted. I think anybody who knows anything kind of knows that he didn't have much draft stock to begin with. William Washington says, Brandon Moore is my nephew. Okay. Him and Milton are best friends. Yeah. And they wanted to go to St. That's dope. Again, I'm not knocking Moore, man. I'm not saying he's not a good player. I'm not saying he won't be a good player. How's your nephew's knee, William? I know he messed his knee up. Is he 100% off of the knee? Give us some insight. If he's your nephew, give us some insight on that. How's the knee going? Is he going to be coming in to Florida State 100% ready to go? But with that said, it's not a knock on Brandon, bro. I just don't want us to get into a situation where we don't have the numbers to take an offensive tackle if a good one emerges. If a big time defensive end emerges, we can't take him because we took 3 defensive backs. You know what I mean? That is my thing on the Brandon Moore situation. That's all I'm saying. I have no doubt that Brandon Moore, if healthy, is going to help contribute to this team. Where do you think Travis Hunter will make the most impact? Boy, everybody asks me this. I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Terrence. Travis Hunter going to make the impact where Travis Hunter want to make the impact at. I know he's projected to be, his ceiling is projected to be higher at defensive back. But when you hear the kid talk, I think he wants to play receiver as well. So the question is going to be, is FSU going to use them both? I tend to believe DB may be the best place he makes the biggest impact at. Now you want to say, well, as a receiver, he can put points on the board, and I do get that. Man, I just feel like if we haven't had a shutdown corner since Jalen. If he can be that, I mean, the whole defense opens up to me. So, you know, I won't be mad wherever he plays, though, to be honest with you. But I think DB might be the best spot. And then it says King can be Antoine Randall L type. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Frank Latson, Fred Davis, Tyler Davis. You just naming a bunch of Florida kids that's on Clemson, which is what? 12 guys, right? Let's see how many people. I think there's only like 12 guys they have on the entire roster that's from Florida, but that's 1, hold on, let me count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's just 9. I think there's like 12 total though. Appreciate it. Well, we're close, man. We're gonna hit 1,000 here sooner or later. We are close. We are on the way to 1,000 subscribers. We are at 8. Hold on. 64 likes in here, man. So don't forget to hit the like button. We're at 802 subscribers. And I have no idea, Tyler, what I should do for 1K. Any ideas, any recommendations will be, let me know. I do want to do something special for a 1K. I get on here and have some balloons and confetti or something. I don't know. You know, get on here and get drunk and talk. But I mean, we do that on a regular basis, so no big deal there. But definitely want to do something for 1K. Again, any recommendations, please let me know, because I can't think of what I want to do, but I know I want to do something. Maybe I'll reach back out to Freddie Stevenson, see if he'll come back on here. That was supposed to happen, and then Freddie went dark on me. So I'll reach back out, see if he want to do something still. I know he's busy, so I try not to bother people. They got their own things going. I reached out to him before. He reached out back. We came to an agreement, and then he kind of just, I'm not going to say he dismissed me. I'm not going to say anything bad. He got busy and went and then had other things going on, and I get it. So maybe reach out to him. I've been trying to reach out to some guys like Carlos Williams. I'm trying to reach out to a couple of Florida State players and get them on here just to get their thought process on the state of the program and things like that. So that could be a thing. Definitely got some stuff I want to do, but any recommendations? I think it's more, I was just proving a point. Clemson is in our backyard. Are we doing better in the portal this year than last? I think so. I think if you look at last year, who they brought in the portal, the only person that contributed, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, the only person I think that contributed to from the portal last year, and we brought like 8 guys last year. The only guy who really contributed was Devontae Love-Taylor. We barely saw any of Miko Dotson. And Fabian Lovett. I would say Fabian Lovett and Love-Taylor were our best 2 transfer gets from last year. Out of 8, I think only those 2 were really good. Jarian Jones played a lot of snaps, but as we've said before, he wasn't that great. Hopefully they say he had a bad hamstring or whatever, so hopefully he comes back with a vengeance this year. I'm rooting for him, but he did not play up to par last year. I would say Fabian Lovett and Love-Taylor were your best 2 portal gets from last year. You didn't get anything from the Louisville kid at D tackle. You didn't get anything from Miko. You didn't get anything from Deontay Williams, was a DN at a Baylor who we got nothing out of. And I'm probably even missing some other guys. Love-Taylor, Lovett were your 2 best guys in the portal. I think you have a chance. Jordan Wilson tore his Achilles, so you didn't get anything out of him. He's still on this team. He is coming back next year, so hopefully we'll get something out of that. We had a lot of guys in portal last year. We didn't get anything out of any of them except for 2. So hopefully we have a better ratio than what was the ratio last year? 2 for 8. Hopefully we have a better ratio than that. We have 8 guys now, so if we can just hit on 50% of those 8 guys, right? If Parchment, Milton, your DN, and one of those DBs is any good, I think you can call that a success. DJ, I'm not really counting. DJ's a luxury. Love him. I'm excited to have him, but I think their running back room is stacked anyway. But yeah, if you can hit on 4 of the guys we got, I think you call that a success. Fuller will probably try Hunter at cornerback first, like they did Travis J. Whoa, Mac Jones is considering coming back to raise his stock heavily. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. With Mac Jones, now you're risking coming back and not having any of those receivers or Najee Harris in the backfield that made you great. So I don't know. That would be dope to get some players on the channel. I'm just giving you insight. No knock. He and MJ have been running with the scout team. I need insight on that knee, William. Appreciate the insight. I really do. And again, I'm definitely not knocking the Brandon Moore as a player, just the numbers. I need insight on that knee, man. How's the knee looking? Is he running full speed? Is he wearing a knee brace? That's the insight we want. If you are willing to share, if you're able to share that, by all means, please do. Bring in a former player or someone involved with the program would be awesome. Sophomore Will Anderson had 7 sacks. Sophomore Chris Barmore 8 sacks. Defensive end. You better block them if you Miami. Jordan Wilson has a lot of hype around him. Give away some merch. So Joseph wants me to give some stuff away. I don't have anything to really give away, Joseph, but we can think of something for sure. What you see is what I got. I don't have a lot of space here in Hawaii. So as I continue to do this, definitely get some more stuff. I like Ricardo Green. Seemed like he played well when Ronaldo Green did play well when he was healthy. At that safety spot, I like Ronaldo Green as well. So, yeah, man, any kind of suggestions for the 1,000 episode or the 1K show, I guess we'll call it. We can definitely do that. Because once we hit 1K, boy, we're going to go to an entirely different level here, man. And again, I'm still trying to work in the Florida State circles to get, some of these former players like Ermon Lane, like all of these guys, man, I try to reach out to. It's tough on Twitter because a lot of these guys have their DMs closed and they don't respond to ats, but I be trying. I got to find them on Instagram or something so I can, shoot the DM and see if they'll respond to me. That is the goal, though, is to get more people on the platform. Again, my goal has always been to grow this thing, to try to be the face of Florida State YouTube. I don't feel like FSU has enough of a presence on the YouTube. Again, like, who do we have on YouTube, man? I don't think can anyone give me any other FSU channels? Because I can't find them. I look to try to support them, and we don't have them. And we got some channels that claim to be FSU channels, but they'll do a video every 3 months on Florida State. And it's always when we don't do something right that they do a video on. So I don't really pay attention to too many of those channels. And again, if you just compare us to like the Miami fan base, man, they've got 6-7 YouTube channels, and I'm not talking about small channels, man. I'm talking big channels, solid size channels, all over 1,000, 2,000 subscribers, get a ton of views. The Miami fan base, you guys have a lot of different options, right? If you don't like one channel, you got another channel you can go to. And Miami fans have so many different options where they can find a person that fits their narrative or style they like. And I don't feel like we got that over here, man. I don't feel like we got that over here. We might have 1 or 2 guys out here that's kind of doing our thing, and that's about it. And I'm trying to find the other guy. So if you guys find channels out there, let me know. But I look and I don't find them. Any chance we get Savion Collins out of Miami? No, I think he's a Gator. I think he's a Gator. I don't even think FSU's having too much. I think they have put all their focus into Taiwan Malone. If we're gonna get a D tackle, it's gonna be him. I don't think Savion Collins is even with the. I don't think Savion Collins is even in the conversation. You the man, bro. Love the channel and the content, bro. Thank you, Pat. What up, Concrete Hard? Some more NC. I gotta hook my stuff back up, but I could definitely do more of the NCAA stuff. Players are gonna be like, man, who this light skinned dude? That's exactly how I think that's how they be looking at me now. Who is this light skinned dude that's talking about doing interviews and stuff? Ingvar says, I'm from St. Petersburg, Russia. One no, always no. Man, from Russia. Shout out to Russia then. Send me some of that Russian vodka. I need some of that. The honey fried chicken dude from Australia. John, don't be petty. Don't be petty, man. We have a few different FSU podcasts that need to convert to YouTube, i.e., On the Bench, the Nolecast. So yeah, so you're right, Derek. We do got like the Nolecast, who I've been listening to the Nolecast for like years now. On the Bench, I like On the Bench a lot. I really like their insight. And we got some upcoming YouTube channels. Like I've shouted them out before. The Listen Up podcast, man. If you don't know who those guys are, just go look at them. I think, I don't agree with everything they say, but I'm pretty sure they don't agree with everything I say. So, but it's good content. They're insightful. And at least at the end of the day, they know football and they know what they're talking about. So guys like Listen Up podcast, The Hot Seat. He's one of the most underrated YouTube channels to me on all of YouTube. If you don't know who The Hot Seat is, go find The Hot Seat and go subscribe to his channel, man. He's a Cowboy fan and he's a Chicago Bulls fan, but he's also a Florida State fan. If you don't know that one, go look up The Hot Seat. He is, to me, one of the most underrated channels, period, on all of YouTube. And he's a Florida State guy. So guys like that, we're trying to build the community up, trying to do more with those guys, man. And those are some of the guys that I have found and that I like their content. Matter of fact, I actually found a channel today, very small channel with like 17 subscribers. But they are a Florida State hoops channel. Let me see if I can find them again. I might have forgot to subscribe to them, man. But I know I left a comment on one of their videos saying go no. And I kind of like the little format they had. And they're mostly a Florida State hoops channel, but they're very small. So if I don't give you the direct name, you probably won't be able to find them. And I don't even know if I can find them again. I should have subscribed to them when I was on the channel, and I did it. But they do mostly basketball. So that's something else you guys are interested in. I do basketball here too, but hell, Florida State ain't played in like a month. So go look out for those guys too. Man, I wish I could find them. When I find them, I'm a spread their stuff too. They do a lot of Florida State basketball stuff. Project Dynasty says Turnt Tadley and the Mulatto 5 is the YouTube channel. LOL, he's funny. Hey, I've said it before. Me and him used to do videos, and regardless of whatever was and wasn't, if you like Turnt, go subscribe to Turnt and go check him out, man. Like, support him if you like that type of content. Go support that. At the end of the day, we just growing the community. The Hot Seat seems like a guy you may want to collab with. I'm definitely gonna try to get him either over there. I'm gonna go over there, or he can come over here. But again, he's a very underrated channel, man. If you guys don't know that one. Hey, I'm a Cowboys, and if you should go check him out, Pat. Check out The Hot Seat, man. As a matter of fact, I'll pull him up because there's a lot of people with that name, The Hot Seat. So if you don't type in, it's like you gotta type it in a certain way or you won't find it. I don't know if it's like, hold on. I want to put his stuff up here so you guys can see who I'm talking about. So you can at least see what the channel looks like. There he is. So it's The Hot Seat, and no space between Hot Seat and it was I don't know, kind of blurry. Oh, I played this video on accident. But that's the channel, man. Let me see if I can. I'll bring it up on the screen. I don't know his name. Not petty. John, you know his name. Stop playing. You're being petty, John. Let's see. There he is. I'm gonna bring him up here so you guys can see it. That's again, very underrated channel right there. So y'all should check him out. That's his channel right there. 4 a.m. and why are you awake at 4 o'clock? Thank you for being up at 4 o'clock. Is it snowing? Probably snowing a lot up there too in Russia. I bet you. There are a lot of FSU / Cowboy fans. He has 489, and John is definitely a fool, Pat. Pat knows John is being shady. Pat knows. But yep. I think that's all we got today, guys. I don't have anything else. I just wanted to touch on Brandon Moore and the numbers and how I don't really agree with the take, but I'm pretty sure that he's a solid player. But FSU's got some more holes they need to fill. But potentially the NCAA will make a ruling here shortly where these schools will have more opportunities to take some more kids. So that's pretty much all we have for today. Not going to do too long of a show today. An hour and 30. It seems like a pretty good short show for today. You know how we do. We usually for 2-3 hours, but I think I'm going to cut it short today. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We are on the road to 1K, man. Don't forget that. We're on the road to 1K. We building this thing up. Thanks for getting me to over 800 tonight. So if you didn't hit that like button on your way in, damn sure better hit it on your way out. If you didn't hit that subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. And like always, I want my Seminole fans to stay classy. Want my Hurricane fans to just stay safe and stay watching the throne. And go Noles, man. We are out here. Y'all have a good rest of your day, and I'll see y'all later on sometime this week. Pretty sure I'll do something again this week. I'll see you guys later, man. Have a great night.